like, why you in here? You know what I'm saying? Like, we in the same place. So, I hope you ain't judging me. But they was like, nah, man, you real intelligent. You have to use that um, in a different direction, right? You need to channel that energy in a different direction. And so it just, taking that advice, I just got involved and started, mentoring guys in prison. I started like teaching guys, some guys, even though they was making a lot of money, they couldn't even really read and write. They know how to count and they know how to get to the bag, but they couldn't really read and write. And so I was helping a lot. I used to be writing dudes old ladies letters, man. Writing them poems and stuff like that. You know, um, and just helping guys and just doing a whole bunch of stuff and like even just mentoring a lot of guys. Just helping them in very different capacities, however I can, right? And so I went to reading more. I want to just like understanding more because talking to guys who had an extreme amount of money who was never going to see the light of day again, but them putting wisdom into me and like, hey man, education, is the key. You can go out there and use your brain to make money. You don't, and so it was at that point where I decided where I'm not going to ever destroy black communities no more. Right. I said I'm not going to ever destroy black communities, and that's what I stand on.
In real life, though. So, how long did you do? Was it?
So the first time, so I wound up doing like about a year or so, and then I came home. I was on, supervisory release. I violated on supervisory release. Then I wound up going back for 3 more years. So total it was probably like about 4 years. I stood home for maybe a couple of months.
Yeah, but did you go back in school or?
Yeah, immediately. So when I came home and kind of went back that time, that's when I think after I did that 3 years. After that point, I came home and I was just like, you know what, I want to get back in school, but it was hard for me to go right back into school because I had like student loans, and when you take out a student loan, you had to pay back the student loan before you can get reinstituted with the Pell Grant and stuff like that, right? And so I wound up going to Delgado. So I went and got me a job. And I wound up going to Delgado. And, it's funny because people used to be laughing. They'll see me at the bus stop. I used to be embarrassed. I put my head down because they're like, SK, what's up, man? You good? You want to ride? Just laughing and laughing and going, talking. But I feel like, how Nipsey Hussle said, you got to go through in order to get to it. And so, and at that time, Nipsey Hussle wasn't even out. But I know that was my motivation. I rode the bus. I rode a bike. I rode a scooter. I went through every single iteration, just because I wanted to see what it's like to really get to it on my own merits, right? And not doing anything illegal to get to it. And it was difficult. I tell people it was hard. I cried many, many days, not having no money, trying to figure it out. And I was just grateful that I had my sister to go, who let me sleep in my nephew's bedroom and let him come sleep in her room. If it wasn't for my sister, I don't know what I would have be at or what decisions that I would have made. But I didn't have to rush into anything. I had a roof over my head. I had food every single day. I just didn't have no money. And so, I went and got a job and went back to Delgado and stood at Delgado for maybe like almost a year. And then from Delgado, I transferred to University of New Orleans and I got a bachelor's degree in urban and regional planning. And then after that, I went to Tulane for graduate school.
Okay. So you double major?
Bachelor and then master graduate school, yeah.
So you have your master's?
Yes.
And man, shout out sister. You gotta give sister a shout out, man.
My sister Malika. Man, yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I love her to death, man. Like she's been a huge supporter, and helped me get on my feet. Because if it wasn't for her, I don't know what I would have done, to be honest. I don't know where I would have went, what I would have done. So yeah, I'm definitely grateful to her.
And nephew, he don't harbor no hard
Nah, he don't hold no hard feelings. He don't hold no hard.
You say you went took his bed.
Well, his mother did it. She like, hey, come sleep in here with me. Let your uncle, have the room.
He just gave it up, huh?
Yeah.
You had to do the wrestling match and everything with him?
No, I ain't had to do none of that. Yeah, I ain't had to do none of that.
Yeah, man. So, so nephew let you make it?
He did. He was young at that time. Yeah, I think my nephew at that time was maybe like 6 years old or something like that. So he still was a kid. He had like a twin bed and so
Yeah,
yeah, I was just
I went through that too.
yeah.
My sister, she yeah, I stayed with her several times, and she shifted her two boys to one room, and I still had I had to sleep on the bunk, the twin bed thing with the box spring. She ain't giving no mattress. I was on the box spring. I was on the box spring. Yeah, that's why you're back. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, big bro. Right now today, like where you at today? Like, what you doing today?
So yeah, so several things, right? So I wound up eventually becoming a real estate developer. Once I finished Tulane and stuff like that, I was just figuring like, okay, what can I do outside of that, right? Yeah, you have degrees and all that. But the challenge was my convictions were still holding me. And so no matter all the stuff that I overcame and going to school and all that, I still couldn't get a job. It was difficult. Everybody was constantly shut the door. I can get a job, right? But I couldn't get a job based on my qualifications and my skill set.
Right.
And so, like, I went to a lot of real estate development companies in New Orleans, and none of them would hire me. So they was kind of intimidated by me. They were like, "Hey, this guy here is smart. He know this," and they was intimidated by me. And so it was from that point I just became actively involved in grassroots organizing and community work.
Right.
I helped, with an organization. When it first started, it was called Justice for Justice Johnson. Most people don't even know who Justice Johnson is, right? Justice Johnson is the first black chief justice in Louisiana. She was getting denied the seat because some of the folks there, some of the some of the white Supreme Court justices in Louisiana didn't want her to have that seat.
Right.
So we started an organization called Justice for Justice Johnson. And so we organized and did a whole bunch of stuff, and she became the first black Supreme Court justice in Louisiana. So we organized and did that. And so out of that, after that, we said, man, they have a whole lot of other issues that we should be fighting for our community. So we changed the name to Justice and Beyond. So I got involved in criminal justice reform. I got involved in affordable housing. I got involved in environmental justice. I got involved in every single thing. And getting involved in the grassroots community like that, my name got known in a lot of rooms that I hadn't even set foot in yet. So a lot of the politicians, a lot of the power brokers in New Orleans, like who this Stephen Kennedy guy is. And so from that
You started
point, that
your name was ringing.
my name started ringing, and so I started getting into politics. And so I got heavily involved into politics, and I got elected to uh, the Orleans Parish Democratic Executive Committee.
Right.
And so I got elected, to that. And so I was a leader in the Democratic Party. I was the chair of District Council District B, where I resided at. And so, I just got heavily involved in politics, working on help Governor John Bell Edwards get elected when he didn't stand a chance of becoming governor.
Right.
When people say, "God, who this guy? Nobody don't even know you. Who is you?" So helped him got elected the first time, and helped him got reelected, as governor in Louisiana. And helped several other people, get elected.
Okay. Okay. And Edwards, he was. Wait, you said that was
Governor John Bell Edwards.
Bell Edwards.
Yeah.
Don't want to get him confused with the other.